They said that Dr. Mikovits said you were held in jail without charges. Then Science said the district attorney in Washoe County, Nevada, filed a criminal complaint against Dr. Mikovits that charged her with illegally taking computer data and related properties from WPI. The charges were dropped in part because of legal troubles faced by her former employer. How do you comment on that?
Well, that's real easy with another screen share.
Okay.
Because in fact, that's not what Science, the journal, reported. That's not why I was arrested. Here's what Science, the journal, John Cohen, actually published the day after I was arrested, November 19th, 2011.
Can we zoom in on that?
Huh?
Can we just zoom in on that photo or expand it to the screen?
So.
Okay, great.
So it says right here, and this is controversial CFS researcher
Is that your mugshot, Judy?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Go ahead.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Go ahead.
Right here in the middle, I'm pointing to it because Science, the journal, kind of designed this narrative to take me out a long time, and all of those are on the side. But right in the middle, it says, sheriffs in Ventura County, California, arrested Mikovits yesterday on felony charges that she is a fugitive from justice. That's not stealing notebooks. That's not the district attorney. She's being held at Todd Road Jail in Santa Barbara without bail. Science Insider could only obtain sketchy details about the specific charges against her. The Ventura County Sheriff told Science that it had no details about the charges and was acting on a warrant issued by Washoe County in Nevada. A spokesperson from Washoe County Sheriff's Office told Science Insider that it did not issue the warrant, nor did Reno, nor did Sparks Department. He said it could only have been from one of the several federal agencies in Washoe County. There never was a warrant. There never was a charge underlying the felony charge for fugitive from justice. And this is exactly what those federal agencies who were scared to death. Again, we're going to start the multi-center study that proves everything I said. So what does it say at NIH by Tony Fauci? She is a felony fugitive from justice, and that still stood the last time I was at my National Cancer Institute laboratory. I tried to get to Fort Detrick, November 15, 2015. So that completely refutes what he just said. There were no underlying charges. There never were. The district attorney of Washoe County, and we filed criminal affidavits and lawsuits against and a civil law QTAM whistleblower lawsuit as soon as we could, November of 14, criminal lawsuit that was held under seal by the corrupt Nevada and the federal agencies, the Attorney General, the FBI. They all admitted it. They held it under seal. That means nobody can you can't tell anybody you have a lawsuit. And then the Monday after I gave this talk last October, all of a sudden they dropped that lawsuit. Said, no, it's dismissed. You failed to serve the people. And I had to file lawsuits pro se, that is, as my own attorney, had to get people to help me. But this work was validated by my then attorney, Mike Hugo, who wrote a 1983, this is USC 1983, 42 USC 1983. It's a constitutional rights lawsuit. No due process, no warrant, no anything, let's just take down Judy Mikovits without a single charge. And that's what my comment is.
Okay. No, I appreciate that detail, and it's very helpful having that PowerPoint. Is there anything else on that presentation that is necessary to show people right now that's relevant?
Not
Okay.
really, because it really refutes everything that Science, the journal, said. So their own magazine didn't go and discuss when I sent him to, when that was my reply to Martin Enserink, who also slandered me, defamed me, wrote inside editor stories during this 2-year period. So there's really nothing else there except proving the journal Science, awarded, literally my employers had misappropriated federal funds, had done unvalidated tests when we were doing those blood supply studies, and Harvey Whittemore is a convicted felon, from 2012 for campaign contributions to Senator Harry Reid. So all of this is in the 1983 study, and here this embattled institute keeps the grants. So there's your $5 million and more, because they've been paid to this day. Everybody that participated in the frauds, in the blood group working group, in the Lipkin study, as soon as, and we call it the Lipkin study, the multi-center study that was published September an October issue of MBio 2012. It says right there, no evidence of XMRV infection. And in fact, table 3 said, from the Rossetti Mikovits lab, said 8%, 6%, 6.1% in patients and controls. What that meant is still, that's 25 to 50 million Americans infected with XMRV. We validated our original paper. And had Tony Fauci left the Montoya Center, had left that last center from Stanford in the study, and not insisted that Ian Lipkin apply statistics to make the association go away, just as they did to William Thompson in that corruption of MMR. So it's all a plague of correct. So then you applied statistics. Let's stop wasting $2.3 million when we have 50 million Americans infected with contagious, many strains of contagious cancer-causing viruses that they got from a contaminated blood supply and vaccines. Let's stop wasting that $2.3 million. Really? When we've got the entire country shut down, these are the people that will die if they get infections. And I say they, but it's me. They infected the lab workers. They knew the first responders, the military. They knew the lab workers. I'm talking contagious. And they called it unintended spread of a biosafety level 2 agent. No, it wasn't a biosafety level 2 agent. It was an infectious, contagious gamma retrovirus introduced into 25 to 50 million Americans for 30 years, unchecked, causing disease. And these are the people with the very disease association. You can hear my lung issues. You can hear my, and boatloads of virus, the lab workers. We can't afford to retrofit our labs to biosafety level 3 to protect our lab workers from new generated viruses that they showed themselves in subsequent studies in 2013-14, showed themselves the envelope protein alone drove metastases, the most aggressive prostate cancer. The envelope protein alone can cause Alzheimer's disease. And we've injected these envelope proteins, injected the whole blueprint, the whole virus. And that's what they're planning to do with a COVID vaccine. And that's why they're driving these influenza vaccines. That will drive the infection, not only in the HIV infected, in the XMRV infected, in the injured with mitochondrial deficiencies, with low glutathione. They can't possibly, that's autistic kids, regardless of the infection. They can't possibly do anything other than get hurt by any shot ever again. And that's why, so that's why they defame and they character assassinated, but they took this PowerPoint down. They dropped that case with all that evidence. I can send you every single file, every case we filed. I did defend that with Michael Hugo, who called me and asked, and I said, yes, please use use what you wrote the last time, because he was stopped from defending me, and it's a chapter in Plague of Corruption. So again, no due process, cover up, cover up, cover up. Now 10 years. Now you got a big problem because you got caught. Plague of Corruption shows they got caught. And COVID-19 is not a coronavirus. Yes, there is one. Yes, it was manipulated in a lab. Yes, it was released. Yes, it will trigger. But the people it will kill are those 25 to 50 million Americans that you've already damaged now for 3 decades in your untested, unsafe, known to be contaminated vaccine.